Hi, everybody. How's it going? It's good to see you all again, sort of, kind of. But it's nice that we can actually connect here finally for school again. Um, I've been a little out of sorts not going to school, so I've been making sure to put on a shirt and tie every day. That may or may not be true. Um, I did before we start. I did, of course, want to reach out since this is the first video and your first contact with me in a while. I just want to again extend my best wishes to you and your family. I hope all of you are staying safe, um, whether it's you or a friend or another family member, or somebody, whether they're dealing with this issue directly or not. I send my thoughts and my best wishes to all of you. And once again, if there's anything you need from me, whether it's academic or just in another way of support, please let me know. And even if I can't specifically help, I'm sure I can help direct you into the right place. Okay. Um, so the purpose of this video is to, and the other videos that you'll see from me in the coming weeks, is really just to help explain what the assignment is and some of the stuff that you guys are going to work on during the course of the week. So hopefully they'll be short enough. A couple of them will be a little bit longer if I'm explaining content or something like that. So that's about it. We're going to get this going. Before we do, though, I'd like to show you my cookie. He's sleeping. Yeah, gonna go for it. He's not feeling so good. Kind of knocked out. For your benefit, I will remove my face for the rest of the video. So catch you in a bit. So what you guys are gonna start with this week is this little video. It's embedded in a Google Forms um, document. It'll just come, put your first and last name here. You can watch the video right here, and then there's questions underneath to answer. Um, I want to show you this because we're going to start fresh. We're going to start with a brand new topic, and that's World War One. And this was initially called the Great War because there had really been there had really never been another war like it. Um, that has a lot to do with the theme of globalization. The world was so connected, and countries had more competition amongst themselves that you know, it was almost inevitable that a war of this magnitude would break out. So when you hear something like that, it's actually even more interesting than to see that it started from a single shot. It wasn't one country against another, it was one person assassinating a world leader. So I'll let the video go into that more, but I just want to give that context to help you understand what's going to happen here with World War One. Now, when you get done watching the video, you might think, really? That one incident started an entire world war? I mean, if you think about like American presidents, right? Abraham Lincoln or John Kennedy, who were assassinated, that didn't lead to world wars. So, what that tells us is there is so much more that goes into this. And that's what we're going to ask you guys to look at right here. So, you'll see this worksheet. For these directions, I should say. And it's called the main causes of World War One because they were the main causes. But you can see here they're broken down conveniently to describe four themes: militarism, alliances, imperialism, and nationalism. And what you see here is we've linked for you on here to go to, in this case, a reading on militarism. Okay, it's from like a scanned textbook page. And then for alliances, you see it'll take you to a YouTube video. And then on from there, nationalism, I linked you to two different things. So for this assignment, I'm going to ask you to make a Google Slides presentation. Now, obviously, we're not with each other. You're not going to be seeing us, but I know that over the first 3 weeks of the home learning, you guys had a ton of writing to do, and we all want to take some of that burden off of you for the first week or two as best we can. What we want you to do though is think about which of those four causes was the most important reason for why the war started. So, did one of those causes have more of an impact on getting these countries to go to war than another? So, you might end up flipping your acronym around. Okay, instead of it being in the order of main, maybe you think, like in this case, the alliances were the most pressing issue that led to war. So you have that first, and then you think it was imperialism, then militarism, then nationalism. Okay, or you might think this was the appropriate order. That's up to you. Okay, and right here you'll see the directions for what has to go on the slides. Okay, I'm going to show you an example here in a second, so I'm not going to talk through that so much. And then at the bottom here is a rubric that you can just follow along. All right. I always like to say for the rubrics, actually change that to, excuse me, is, if you want an A, just read this column. Okay. Don't worry about all this other stuff. All you need to do is understand, all right, well, what do I need to do to get a 5 for each category? And if you do that, there's nothing to worry about. Okay. So once you look through these resources, okay, and you're getting ready to start your slides, here you go. So here's an example. Put it in present mode. So title slide, cover slide, however you want to call it. You'll see more about this next week. The trenches that the soldiers were forced to live in and fight from. But I wanted to use it because I think it encompasses much of what the war is about. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to start with nationalism, just because, like I said, you might, you could put these in any order. So this slide is going to have the information from the video or the article, okay, that you were linked to. You have to have at least 4 points explaining what nationalism was all about and how it impacted the war. Then you're going to have a second slide. And on this slide, it's going to be where you explain your reasoning as to why you ranked it where you did. Okay. And on this slide, you can get away from the 6x6 rule because you have to do more like writing and explaining. All right. It's not as much of a presentation part as the first slide would be. And then for the third slide for the nationalism section, okay, this is where you're going to have some kind of image and an explanation of how it represents the topic. So you can see my picture. This is a propaganda poster from Britain at the time. Kemba actually picked this one. I wonder why. Seems like he's a little biased toward the subject matter. So, and in the box at the bottom with the red outline, that's my example of how I'm connecting the poster to the content. So I'm saying this represents nationalism by using the British flag and an English bulldog. By asking the question, are we afraid, and answering no, the British government is expressing a confidence in their power and their ability to win the war. You're going to see that nationalism is about that. It's about expressing confidence in your country and what it's capable of. And my last sentence, this shows the pride many Britons felt. Pride is also generally synonymous with nationalism, as you'll see. Okay, so pretty simple explanation. All right, that's the minimum at least you should do. I was running out of space. I could have definitely added another sentence too, because you'll notice with the dogs, it says Australia, Canada, India, South Africa, New Zealand. Those are all British colonies, right? And so it was, required that their colonies stood up and joined the fight and sent supplies or soldiers as well. Okay. And so I could talk about how this is all uniting the entire British Empire for the one common goal of winning the war. So, again, this is a quick little example for you of what your slides should look like. So now if my next slide was alliances, I'm going to have 3 slides about the alliances. Right? So 3 times 4 is 12 plus 1 for the cover. So in total, you're going to have 13 slides, right? This is one time where I'm actually telling you how many slides you should have, okay? If there are any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. If you get started on this, I'm posting this to all my classes on Monday. So if you end up getting started with this before the 2 hour block where you come to meet me, that's fine. You can email me questions ahead of time. I'm trying my best, and it'll take me a week or two to feeling it out to design the lessons so that they'll fit into that 2 hour block. Okay, it may end up taking you a little bit longer, but the goal is to try to fit it into that 2 hour block. Maybe it takes 2.5 hours, but this assignment I think should take right around that 2 hour mark. And then you'll submit it to Google Classroom and be all set from there. All right. Oh, and I should point out the district has told us all of these assignments are due on Friday. So even if I believe that it can be done in those 2 hours, you still will have the extra time to complete it up until Friday. I'll set a time, probably 3 o'clock or something, for you to have that fully submitted. Okay, and anybody that submits it by that point will get the credit they deserve. Anybody submitting it after, that's when we have to start, looking at late points. But bear in mind, I'm aware that this is a very difficult time. So if there's anything that comes up that prevents you from doing the work or submitting it on time, please let me know. And we will absolutely work through that. I'm completely understanding and, here for you guys on that. All right. So once again, it's good to have a little context after a month here with you guys, and we will talk soon. All right. Take care, everybody.